40 ARCA drivers prepare to duel for 200 miles, inches apart at speeds approaching 190 miles per hour here at Daytona International Speedway. Now let's learn more about a couple of today's favorites. Here's Bill Weber.
41-year-old Kirk Shelmerdine has 44 career wins and 4 championships as a Winston Cup crew chief. But in 1993, he traded his crew chief cap for a helmet so he could pursue his dream of driving as a full-time profession. That career has been a struggle, highlighted by ARCA wins at Atlanta and Charlotte. Today, he sits on top of the world and in front of the field, on the pole, seeking the one thing that eluded him as a crew chief, a Sunday afternoon win at Daytona in February. A reward not only for his driving, but for his daring career decision. Bill Baird won the ARCA Series championship in 1999, and his goal in 2000 is to repeat. He qualified 4th in his Chevrolet last Thursday. But on Friday afternoon, a cut tire sent Baird into the wall. By the time this car finally came to rest, it was too crunched and too crispy to continue. Baird was unhurt, but his chances of winning at Daytona had been crippled. Now in a backup car, he must start at the back of the field. Bill Baird has a long way to go to climb back on top.
1 year ago, Shauna Robinson finished second in this race here at Daytona, but her self-criticism was, maybe I waited just a little bit too late to make my charge to the front. Now, the 35-year-old mother of 2 hopes to have a great season this year. As a matter of fact, she's going to try to contend for the championship. But, folks, I believe a win today at Daytona would be equally as gratifying. She's got a great race car. Jeremy Mayfield finished 3rd in this exact same race car in the Daytona 500 in 1998. Shauna hopes that the quality of her driving today equals the quality of the car and the team. And in order to become the very first female stock car driver ever to win at Daytona, she must work her way past a number of great drivers. The toughest to beat might just be Bob Strait. The 50-year-old Chicago area native has 14 short track victories, but his biggest win came last October. He won at Talladega. Strait never had finished better than 17th at that track and had never led on the Alabama Super Speedway. However, the 66 car and their crew were the great equalizer. Strait won the pole, led 50 laps, and won the race. And guess what, folks? Today, he's got that exact same race car. Now let's go up top to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Ray. Hello, everyone. I am Jerry Punch, along with Benny Parsons and Kyle Petty, and we're so glad you could join us here today. You know, guys, many, if not most of the drivers who are going to start this race typically compete on the quarter and half-mile bull rings of the Midwest, but they believe that if they could win this one today, it would do for them what it did for you, Benny, in 1969, and you, Kyle, in 1979, launch them into the major leagues. Are they putting too much pressure on themselves?
Well, really, Jerry, there's 2 kinds of pressure. Number one, several of these competitors will be trying to run the entire ARCA circuit this year, so they have the pressure of trying to win the championship. Now, the group that you're talking about, they're under the pressure to win the race and try to turn some heads to get that NASCAR Busch Series route or that NASCAR Winston Cup route. And, Kyle, can this thing help you in the Busch or Winston Cup?
It definitely can. There's actually a few guys that are running the ARCA race that are planning on running the Busch race next Saturday, and they hope that the Winston Cup guys see them this week and maybe give them a shot in some of their Busch cars, or they get to move up one more level, and then on next Saturday, if they do really good in the Busch stuff, jump up in Winston Cup someday.
Well, the engines have fired, and 40 of the Midwestern's best stock car drivers from the Automobile Racing Club of America are set to go to war for 200 miles, 80 laps on the high banks of Daytona International Speedway. Our Speed World coverage comes to you live from the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway, for the 37th running of the ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde Pro2Call 200. When we come back, the starting lineup and the green flag.
ESPN the magazine.
Well, thank you for calling.
Dan, can I put you on hold? Dan Patrick wants a free Polo Fleece pullover.
He writes a column for the magazine, but he's not a new subscriber.
Sorry, Dan. No can do on the fleece. It's only for new subscribers. You mean you're actually calling to subscribe?
Okay, sure. Okay.
Everyone wants our ESPN the magazine Polar Fleece pullover. It's a warm, roomy, high-quality fleece with a half-zip front and embroidered ESPN the magazine logo. And best of all, it's free.
ESPN the magazine. It's Rich Eisen. He's called 3 times.
Sorry, Rich. I agree, it's a great-looking fleece, but it's only for new subscribers.
Subscribe now to ESPN the magazine and get your sports the way it ought to be. Big and bold, fast and furious, with in-your-face photos, amazing interviews, and inside, behind-the-scenes coverage of what's happening now and what's happening next. All with attitude that could only come from ESPN.
Stuart Scott wants the fleece.
Booyah!
Stuart, we're under strict orders, buddy. Only brand new subscribers get the free fleece. Maybe you want to take out another subscription. Yeah.
Call now for ESPN the magazine. Get 26 issues, a year's worth for just $1 an issue. $1 an issue. That's 66% off the newsstand price. And remember, your ESPN the magazine fleece pullover is free.
It's Chris Berman. And he could. Oh, way! Rumbling, bumbling, bumbling, bumbling. Back. Luke.
Call now for ESPN the magazine and your free fleece pullover. 1-800-816-4848. 1-800-816-4848.
Our ESPN coverage of the 37th running of the Pro2Call 200 from Daytona International Speedway is being brought to you by Chase Authentics, the official trackside apparel of NASCAR. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole for the second time in his career, 41-year-old Kirk Shelburne in the Ameripart Chevrolet, flanked by 50-year-old ARCA veteran Bob Strait in the Midway Island Ford. Row 2, how about a rookie, Chad Chaffin out of Smyrna, Tennessee? He is flanked by the reigning series champion Bill Baird, but there's more to Baird's story. Back in row 3, another rookie, Joe Knott out of the ASA ranks, driving for Eddie Sharp Racing in a Chevrolet. And last year's winner of this race, Bobby Gerhardt, the Kuwait Casino Chevy. And back in row 4, our third rookie in the top 7 qualifiers, Lyndon Amick, a former NASCAR Goodies Dash Series champion, the Penda Bedliner Chevrolet, and veteran Bob Shack, a 19-time winner in ARCA competition, starts 8th. As you look at the rest of our starting lineup, guys, 3 rookies in the top 7 qualifiers.
And Lyndon Amick, we talked about him. You talked about him just a moment ago. He is going to have to start at the rear of the field along with the 52 car of Bill Baird and the 32 of Mark Stahl. Baird and Stahl crashed their cars, had to go to backup. And Lyndon Amick lost an engine under ARCA rules. You cannot change engines after qualifying, so he will have to go to the rear of the field.
And you saw that Ronnie Hornaday a moment ago. That indeed is the son of Ron Hornaday Jr., the 2-time NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion. Ronnie Hornaday, 20 years of age, making his first ever ARCA start. There's Dill Whittemore, former Rookie of the Year, or co-Rookie of the Year, along with Mark Gibson, a 2-time winner, and former Daytona Beach native.
Ed Kennedy out of the Modifieds out of the Northeast, back in row 14. And Dale Earnhardt's oldest son, Kerry Earnhardt, on the inside of row 15.
The first ever Earnhardt to compete in ARCA competition. Some of the other veterans, Mark Stahl, you mentioned he's going to the back of the field with that car. It was damaged in the final practice session. Tracy Leslie, a former ARCA champion, coming back to drive for Jack Boucher. And our provisional starters, last year's Rookie of the Year, Ron Cox, along with Kurt Piercy and Chuck Weber. Well, we'll have a lot of onboard cameras today to give you all kinds of angles of the action for 200 miles, and we start with Dill Whittemore.
Starting in 2050, Mount Olive Pickle. Andy Belmont, as he follows the pace car. Andy Belmont, they're trying to maintain their pit road speed right now, following these pace cars at about 55 miles per hour, making sure that when they go down pit road, they will not speed. Our officials watching that, and there is a penalty for it.
And Kyle Petty, when you drove your first Super Speedway race, I guess it was this race here in 1979, what was going through your mind right now, like a lot of these guys that are on the Super Speedway for the first time?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't have a clue. I'd been down here and run a test with my father, and we'd come back and we'd run some practice, and that was about it. And this car is smoking right here. I don't know if they've left an oil line loose or something's wrong, or if they just look like oil smoke, so maybe it'll burn off. But it was different. You know, you come down here and we qualified fairly well, and they told me to follow Billy Hagan, who used to own the 44 car that Terry Labonte drove. And I followed him until he pitted, and then I didn't know what to do.
Well, you did a pretty good job of following, and you led the final lap, so Kyle Petty won that first time on a super speedway. We'll get another first-time winner. We had one a year ago with Bobby Gerhardt. Got a good chance today. Back with a green flag after this from Daytona.